Yep, this game is awesome. How awesome? Look, I just killed PewDiePie. Hey folks, I'm Hudson, and this is Road Redemption. It was successfully kickstarted in 2013 and is currently in early access on Steam. Road Redemption is heavily inspired by the classic game Road Rash. Man, I must have sunk hundreds of hours on the 3DO version of that game. Yes, I own a 3DO, and it kicks ass. Road Rash was an excellent, over-the-top motorcycle racing game featuring cheesy live-action videos and a hard rock soundtrack with artists like Soundgarden. You drove races with other bikers, beating them senselessly with chain whips while avoiding traffic and the police. If your bike got fucked up, you had to spend your money to repair it, but if you won races, you got that fat cash and could even purchase better bikes, allowing you to move on to harder races. It was a lot of fun. Road Redemption is like if Road Rash would be pumped to 11. This game is completely fucking crazy, with a huge emphasis on combat. You can carry up to 3 weapons with stuff like sledgehammers, shovels, even fucking swords. You can even get firearms like SMGs, shotguns, and even a fucking grenade launcher. What is weird and at the same time interesting about Road Redemption is that it has this roguelike influence on it. You have one life. In between races, you can spend your money on power-ups that only last for your current playthrough. These range from increasing your damage, increasing how much money you earn, healing yourself up. You can even purchase an extra life if it ever pops up, because these power-ups, they're random after each mission. Once you finally die, you lose all of them, and all your money. But now you can spend the experience points you earned for permanent boosts. They start off as simple, more health, more armor, but get better the further you go along the skill tree, like increasing crit damage, allowing you to start the game on level 3 with $1,500, skipping the first 2 levels. Or allowing you to start the game with a firearm. Losing a race doesn't end the game, only dying does. And if you lose, you can restart the race, but be warned, you will restart it with the same amount of health, nitro, and weapons that you ended it with. Unlike Road Rash, where each level was a race and finishing in the top 3 got you prize money, Road Redemption has several different types of levels. You still have your basic race, but others include killing a specific amount of enemy bikers, or wrecking enough havoc to get a 5-star wanted police level. The combat is extremely satisfying. Just the mere sound effect of knocking an enemy off their bike is awesome. Aside from just using your weapons to kick them off their bike, you can kick them off the road or into oncoming cars. And my personal favorite, fucking grab them and ram them into a car. My only issue with the combat is that the guns are way too hard to handle. The mouse and keyboard controls are awful. And even if they were okay, I don't recommend using them for driving or racing games. I used my 360 pad, but there is no aim assist. The only way to aim is manually, meaning you have to move the camera onto the direction of who you want to shoot. This will usually result in you getting hit by a car because you couldn't see what the hell was ahead of you. The only weapons I found comfortable enough to use were the shotgun and the grenade launcher. The further you get into the game, the harder it gets. Enemies start having armor and more health. They also start deflecting your blows and carrying weapons that can kill you in 3 hits. Cops will start driving cars trying to ram into you from oncoming traffic. It took me forever to beat Mission 6, and then once again to beat 7, and then once again 8. It's a bit like Rogue Legacy. The permanent upgrades you purchase each time you die will greatly help you out. Once you beat what is currently in the game, you get one of the developers' phone numbers. Why, I don't know. I don't plan on calling him. And you unlock Campaign Plus mode, which is the same as the regular campaign mode, only a lot harder, and here, losing a race ends the game. Road Redemption in its current state is a ton of fun, but it lacks variety both in mission objectives and the levels themselves. You're either driving through a desert, a snowy area, or rooftops. The levels kind of feel the same, even though they aren't. And the rooftop levels I simply hate. They just aren't fun. The camera sometimes goes apeshit, and I end up falling over because I couldn't see where I was going. The jetpack screwed me over so many times I stopped bothering to use it. The same with the harpoon, don't even get me started on that piece of shit. Some of the stuff on the rooftops you can crash through and continue on your merry way, others send you flying off the fucking building. There's no telling what is safe or not, and it's very frustrating. Since the game isn't finished yet, I certainly hope they do add more map variety, as well as rework the current levels that exist. The other issue is that the objectives aren't well balanced and the levels are too short. Road Rash had very long races. Road Redemption, on the other hand, the longest race will last you 3 minutes. Other objectives can be beaten in as little as 30 seconds. Kill 4 enemies using only kicks or grabs? Okay, that takes 30 seconds. Another level had me kill 8 enemies in general. Luckily I started with a grenade launcher. That also took about 30 seconds. That mission 6 I was talking about that took me forever to beat? Well, the first time I beat it was because I started with a shotgun and gunned down half of the enemy gang in the beginning of the level. They really need to look at rebalancing these objectives and add more variety in general. I also hope they added more bikes. So far, the only bikes you can choose from only decide the difficulty of the game. The rider you choose is only cosmetic and doesn't affect anything. You can upgrade your bike using permanent attribute boosts when you die, but doesn't really change anything cosmetically. It would be nice if you could actually upgrade and buy bikes. Lastly, as pretty much all Axis games, it's buggy and it runs like shit. I don't know why. It's Unity engine, but at times drops down to as low as 18 frames per second. Overall, it's a lot of fun, and is probably going to be the closest game to Road Rash that we'll see for a very long time. And that's sad. While I'd prefer an experience closer to the old CD versions of Road Rash, where you have a hub area and you can pick and choose your races and you can repair your bike or buy new bikes, I'm enjoying Road Redemption as well as their interesting ideas. Road Rash was a lot more about precision. Combat wasn't the focus, but at times you could use it to your advantage, and other times it would simply fuck you over. Road Redemption, on the other hand, is all about violence and chaos. I don't think there's enough content currently to justify paying full price for, but if you're a Road Rash fan, or you like what you see, or you want to club PewDiePie in the face, then keep an eye on it. They do plan on adding multiplayer, and that should be fucking awesome.